afternoon, everyone. Nice Saturday afternoon with light rains and wonderful weather. Typical weather for a very Indian family to have chai pakodi or coffee pakodi, isn't it? So, most of us are in the comfort of our homes, and some of us are not. Now, today I have been given this topic of how has the pandemic impacted the education ecosystem. A very strong topic, a topic that many would really love to contribute about from their own point of view. But first, I want to thank Shweta Arora, who is the owner of this page called New Shuttle. And she gives space for a lot of upcoming children with their talent to come out, present themselves, and let many people know what they are good at. That's a wonderful platform. Thank you so much, Shweta, for thinking so much about children. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk on this topic. I'm really humbled that you think that I can do justice to this topic. So let me try my best. Well, the pandemic, has it impacted the education system? Yes, it has. None of us can say no. Of course it has. 100% it has. Positives, negatives, बहुत सारे aspects हैं, but we will talk about what is more practical today. Because each of the aspect of the change in which the education system has been impacted by the pandemic, each of us is going to look at it very differently, how things work for one family, as always, may not work the same way for another family. So, of course, the pandemic has impacted each one of us in many different ways. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit. School, being the owner of the Head Over Heels school, for me, children are the most important part of a school. It's not the parents, it's not the teachers, it's not the management. Children are the reason that school exists. Just the teachers, just the parents, and just the management cannot do anything in that building structure if there are no children, right? Children are the most important, vital part of a school. Now, children, why do they come to school? Many of us can say, well, koi zarurat nahi hai, they can study in the house. What is it that parents don't know that they can't teach children? Definitely, children can learn anywhere. In fact, any of us can learn anywhere, and honestly none of us can say even at our age that हमारा पढ़ाई खत्म हो गया है. We may not be taking certificated courses anymore, but literally we are learning every day. We learned many new words in the last 6 months. We learned a superior word called pandemic. We repeatedly learned the word called lockdown, social distancing. I mean, we learnt these words left, right, and center. They kept hammering into our ears and our head for the last 6 months. Whether we wanted it or we didn't, it is there. And trust me, it is going to be here for a long time to come. Looking at the situations, yes, it is going to be here for a long time to come. Now, when we send our children to school, what is it that the school offers? What does the school offer a child? A school offers a child many more things than what a house can offer. Many of you would like to defer me in that. Of course, each of us has our opinion. But a school can offer something that is outside of home, literally. It can offer the fact that you get to meet many people of your age and of different age groups. Now that is something that can happen outside of home. A school offers many different aspects of socialization. क्या घर में बैठ के बच्चे सोशल नहीं हो सकते हैं? बिल्कुल हो सकते हैं. कोई इस बात को डिफर भी नहीं कर सकता है. इनफैक्ट आई माई सेल्फ हैव बीन अ होम स्कूलर, सो आई हैव सीन दैट चिल्ड्रन कैन socialize whether they go to school or not. But the amount of socialization that a school can give, that is enormous, you know. And the age group that children can touch upon when they get to a school, all the way from their age to children younger to them to children older to them, the communication dynamics, the discipline dynamics, teachers are teaching, children are teaching, so many things around, and they have to do it all together. It's not in isolation. That's one thing that the school majorly allows. You don't do anything in isolation. You do everything in a group. हर चीज़ के लिए, when you look around, you're going to look for help. You're going to have help everywhere around. You're not going to be isolated for anything. A school is very important, if not the only important thing in a child's life. Okay? Many homeschoolers or many unschoolers would feel that no, school is not important. I'm not saying it is the only important thing. I'm saying it is a reasonably important aspect in a child's learning environment. When a child comes to a school, everybody in the school looks to give the child that same feeling that is there in a house. The teacher does the job of a mother. Apart from just teaching, the teacher and the rest of the staff as well, they want to comfort the child, they want to touch, feel, give those warm hugs, give the warmth to the child, make that environment feel really comfortable for the child, because they are away from home and they are very small. You know, even if they are in 10th, compared to us, they are very small. And they still need, tell me that even at our age, we don't like a warm hug. We don't like a comforting touch when we are feeling low or when we are feeling high. We are ecstatic, anything. The comfort of socializing is always there in us, because we are social animals, no? We were born and brought up that way, and that's the whole reason for us to be humans. We're always going to be social animals. Now, how has the pandemic impacted the education system? Well, all of us have been educated in school or not in school. Education hasn't stopped. Schooling is not educating. Educating is way above schooling. I personally believe that. Anyone can get educated from anywhere. Okay? But how has the pandemic impact the education system? Now, when I talk about the system includes the school, the system includes the family, the system includes the friend circle, the social circle, everything. It just doesn't restrict itself only to the school building. The education system is way bigger than the school structure itself. It's the Gyan Ganga. It is not just padai. Let's understand that difference. Education is not studying. Education is gaining knowledge for yourself. Okay? I can educate myself today on a fine art by just reading enormous amounts of books. I will be highly educating myself even if I start reading so much. I don't necessarily need to go to a school to do that. So how has the pandemic impacted the education system? Well, I would say the pandemic has certainly made a huge change in our entire lifestyle. You know, earlier, each of us used to have our own space, whether we went to work or whether we went to school or we were at home and our children went to school. All of us had a role to play throughout the day. And all of us had that time-specific roles to play throughout the day. Lockdown, 3 months, 4 months, boom, everything's gone. We are all just stuck within the four walls of our house, and honestly we start to discover a lot of things in our house which we hadn't discovered in the past. We realize that घर का पोछा करना, घर का सफाई रखना, कितने सारे nooks and corners है. Earlier it used to be just easy to say, call up the maid and say, come on, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Now you start to realize, oh, I have to have a timetable because otherwise I'm going to forget this corner of the house or that corner of the bartan and all those things. It made a change in the lifestyle. We all understand that change is constant. We have been learning this forever. Because if change wasn't constant, we wouldn't have evolved as humans, right? I mean, we have come from Stone Age to Computer Age. Stone Age and Modern Age and Computer Age, we've evolved big time. So change is constant. Just to give an example, it took years to move from the bullock cart to the cycle, to a motorized vehicle, to a train, to an aeroplane. It took years and years and years for that to happen, Generations passed and then we got all those things. But it pretty much just took a decade to move from a Nokia phone to a touchscreen. Change happened. We accepted the change. We acknowledged it. Hence, we felt comfortable. Now what's happening? The change is happening. But it's happening at a speed different than what we are used to. It could be slower, it could be faster. But the speed of change has changed. The change is what we have difficulty in accepting. The speed at which change is happening. We were thinking that we are going really fast with change. Technology is going left, right and center. एकदम दौड़ रहा है आगे में like Usain Bolt, and it's really impossible for regular humans to catch up with technology. But the lockdown came and it stopped so many things. People had this famous tagline saying it hit the pause button. Now when it is going to hit the play button, we don't know. लेकिन वो recorder बहुत रुक के चल रहा है. It is constantly stopping in between because we open the lockdown, we put the lockdown. We open the lockdown, we get into the lockdown. We are just playing lockdown. So what's happening with this constant change? It's constantly changing, but the speed of change is really messing with us. The speed of change is messing with us so much that it has started to affect us behaviorally as well. Because we are living in so much uncertainty that I don't know how to behave tomorrow. I don't know how to behave today. I don't know because I haven't practiced for this in all these years, इस change को accept करने के लिए मुझे बहुत time लगा है. Now, as an adult, if I'm going to take so much time to accept and acknowledge this change, how do we think children who are going through a major change in the entire education system are going to take it? Not going to be easy, no? Earlier, I remember I had many parents who used to tell me, how do you think 3-year-old and 4-year-olds are going to sit down through this online classroom? And my standard answer to them used to be, I don't know, but we are going to figure it out together. You as parents and we as schooling personnel are here to get children through this. If we don't teach them that today, we might not get this window of opportunity in future because this is not the way we want to learn change. Harrowing ourselves and learning change is not the way we want to learn change. But it has been imposed on us. It is there with us. How has it impacted us? It has impacted us in one way or the other. I am having quite a few people who are writing in here. I will pick up each and every question one by one, and you can honestly give me your thought process around that. Now, I as a person prefer to look at things on a positive note. अब change हुआ है, अब change है तो है. I personally cannot go and just turn it around and unchange it or, do something reversible. I wish I could and all, I really don't know. But can I? Right now, I can't. So, what do I have the best option? Now that I've fallen into the well, I try myself to keep swimming, stay afloat, and keep looking for options to come out of the well. Or I just keep crying and go sinking deep inside, not knowing how deep the well is. Now, we always have to look for positivity no matter what the situation is. And if we as adults and parents are not going to be able to do that, how do you think we are going to teach that to our own children? I believe that this change has brought a tremendous positive impact to the education world. How many have been impacted by it? That is an entirely different topic for discussion. Yes, there will be people who will say the underprivileged have not been able to take effect of that. Absolutely agreed, and there is no two ways about that. Our heart goes out to all those people. We as a school have tried to help out a lot of those underprivileged children in one way or the other. But it's going to be kind of difficult for us to touch upon everyone when the change is happening in a very irregular speed. We are not knowing how to go about it. But looking at the positives of it is something that I would definitely like to touch upon today. That a very big positivity that has come from this pandemic for the education world is the digitization of education. We've all so far only been speaking about being very forward and technologically advanced in our classrooms. All of us have gone to various different schools and asked, smart classroom hai aapke school mein? Now a school could also just say, yes, I have a whiteboard and a projector, and term it as a smart classroom. And people agree to that. Now, a whiteboard and a projector, I don't know since when that becomes a smart classroom, but there is a lot more to being a smart classroom just than having a whiteboard and a projector in the classroom. A classroom doesn't become smart because of the gadgets it has in it. A classroom becomes smart because of the discussions that are going to go on in the classroom with the gadgets in it. Please, I'm going to repeat myself. A classroom is not going to be smart because of the gadgets it has in it. You can have a state-of-art lab. But if the person who is going to handle the lab does not know how to use the things in the lab, what is the point of having the state-of-art lab? You walk into a Google office, they have, you name it and it will be there. Or maybe you will go there and know, this is what this thing is called. But if the person who is going to demonstrate it to you does not know how to use it, what is the point of having it in that Google office? Right? I hope I'm trying to make sense here. So let us understand that digitization in a classroom is very important. Why? Because we don't want to teach our school children or our children, be it at home or be it in a school, we don't want to teach them what we learned and restricted ourselves to 30, 40, 50 years ago. We want them to be prepared for the next 30, 40, 50 years to come. Okay? So what are we doing in our education system to prepare children other than just teaching them the basic things? So I would say that the digitization that has come into the entire learning system because of the pandemic is a boon. Yes, it is being only getting hands-on by a few children, not the entire system of the entire world, but this is still a very positive change. Now children are sitting in a classroom right from their homes, and the teacher could have just traveled just before the lockdown to God knows Timbuktu, but she's still doing her classroom from there. So the distance or the place from where you are teaching or from where you are learning really does not matter. And till the day of lockdown, it never occurred to us, right? It never occurred to us that my children can sit in the house also and learn a lot of things. Now, how the government is going to put a positive impact to this? Now, we are all seeing all the JET issues that's happening. Of course, everything is new for everyone. Don't expect answers to come overnight. We are all going to learn this as we go. Just like the way we all learned to make chawal and dal the first time and we messed it. And then until our parents said that जब तक 5-6 बार नहीं बनाओगे ये नहीं बनने वाला है तुमसे. करना तो पड़ेगा ना. You have to keep testing and trying. Only then you're going to perfect it. Only then you're going to master it. So, if today there are technical issues and glitches when we are doing a lot of things in our education system, it's because we are all testing and trying out a lot of things for the first time. None of us know the reaction to it. So how has it impacted us? It has impacted us reasonably on a positive note. The other thing is, for once, the teachers who thought that only by having textbook I can teach, now know that I have an entire gold case in something called as the internet, and I can go beyond the textbook and teach my classroom. So I don't have to just be restricted to a textbook to teach. Now I can explore and get my class children also to explore. This was something that, the routine had set into us कि textbook खोलो, page number इसमें जाओ, question answer लिखो, घर में जाओ, 10 बार लिखो, पढ़ाई करो. No, we suddenly jumped out of that. We came out of that thought process and we realized that now I can Google literally to teach my children. I don't have to just go and Google only in my free time just for my knowledge. Now I can share that knowledge with my children in the classroom. I also feel another wonderful thing that has happened with the pandemic and the impact of it on the education system is the travel time to school and back. Oh wow! I'm sure even the teachers will, if there are teachers here on the session right now, will agree that I do not have to rush in the morning because I have to catch a bus or the school bus or, travel 1 hour to my school. No. I can get comfortably ready 15 minutes before my class has to start, go sit there and start my class with an absolute fresh mind, not worrying kitna time lagega, what if I'm stuck in traffic and I'm late to school again. We don't have to worry about that. And we leave the classroom and literally go from one room to another room and we are ready to cook and clean and eat and, spend time with family and whatever. So the education system is kind of benefiting from this. As a teacher and also as a child, we are now having more time with our family, which earlier we used to really be tired. Children used to travel 1.5 hours in their school bus and come home tired, and then they had to sit and study or complete their homework. Now, they are so quick, they finish the class, they just sit another 1 hour on the same table chair on the same floor, finish the homework, and they are like, okay, I'm done for the day. Whether I can go out to play or no, I'm done for the day. And you know that when they say they are done for the day, they're genuinely done for the day because you see, this is a wonderful thing that classrooms have now come home. And earlier where parents used to think कि class में जाके क्या करता है मुझे नहीं पता, फिर क्या सिखाती है मुझे नहीं पता, अब parents को सब कुछ पता है. पहले भी आपको पता था, but अब upfront सब कुछ real time में पता चल रहा है that this is what was done in the class today. This is how the teacher taught it. And this is how my child understood. So now when your child says teacher ने सिखाया लेकिन मुझे समझ में नहीं आया, you know where is the gap. You know if the gap is from the teacher to the child or from the child to the topic. It's not to find a fault, it's just to fix the gap. Now, everything has come to our fingertips. Shouldn't we capitalize on it? Shouldn't we make a wonderful thing out of this? That I can sit at home as a teacher and do a lot of things. I can sit at home as a teacher and I can explore so much more. I can also tell the parents of my class children that you can explore these things and spend time with your child discussing these things. Like in my class last week, we were having a discussion on the oil spill that's happened in Russia and in Mauritius. We heard the former Prime Minister talk, the former Malaysian President talk about it. We had those links sent to children and requesting parents to sit and discuss these topics with your children. Many parents in the past have told me current affairs बच्चों को ज़रूरी नहीं है, let them just learn what's in the textbook. क्यों? Current affairs हमेशा से बच्चों के लिए ज़रूरी था, हमेशा से. It's just that as parents and as school system हम textbook के अंदर इतना घुसे हुए थे that we never found time for current affairs with children. But otherwise, in my times, I remember my father always used to tell me, newspaper यूं ही पड़ा हुआ है, कभी तो just pick it up in your hand and at least glance it, let it feel good about being in your hands for some time. You know, today, as teachers, we have the time to bring the current affairs into the classroom. Now, coming to the other effect of, having parents around in the education system during the pandemic. All of us have our own apprehensions, okay? I'm not going to blame any parent. Never, ever. As parents, all of us always want the best for our children. There is no two ways about it. We only start getting worried and start asking worrying questions because we are not sure of what is going on and how positive it is going to be for my child. That's the only worry that parents always have. So absolutely correct on that. There's no doubt on that. Now that parents are around, I definitely have one request to parents, that contribute towards the positivity of education. No one is coming to question the parenting methods, right? Similarly, you must also remember that as teachers in a school, we always tell children, respect your parents, obey what they say. It would only be nice if parents also, now knowing the struggle that teachers have been through to, go downhill and actually come uphill. It would be really nice if parents also just put in that one sentence with children and hold it very close to their heart as well. That, respect your teacher, obey what she says or he says. Because parents or teachers का objective हमेशा एक ही रहा है. The child should do really well for themselves. Nothing other than that. Children just should do well for themselves. So if teachers can say that to parents, parents must also say that for teachers. Okay? Now, one last point that I want to talk about, the positivity of the pandemic and its impact is, please remember that building structures do not define education. I mentioned this right at the start. Building structures or where you sit and study does not define education. Education is defined by the amount of information you can pass on to children. That's how they get educated. Otherwise, we are all just certificate carriers for everything that we have done so far. If we want our children to be educated, pandemic, not pandemic, they will always get educated. But we need to respect the fact that they are children. They are here to learn. And they are going through a major change in their life. We lived our childhood. We enjoyed our childhood. Children of today across the globe are going through a major change in their life. They haven't physically gone and seen their friends in months together. I have not experienced that, neither have you. So you don't know how a child of 4-year-old or 8-year-old or 12-year-old or 15-year-old feels about not going and physically meeting with their children. So it's very easy to say, I can understand how you feel. No. Trust me, parents, we can't understand how our children are feeling. It's difficult for us to understand how our children are feeling. Even worse, if they are not able to express it. So respect them for their feeling. We don't really know how they feel because we never experience that. They have been very patiently waiting for this pandemic to pass through so they can come back to their normal lives. Now I'm going to end this session on a note, asking, what would it be if this situation continues for another 2 to 3 years? What would it be for our children if this continues for another 2 to 3 years and we are all inside our homes? How would the education system be accepted by those who are not accepting it right now if this continues for the next 2 to 3 years? How are we preparing ourselves to face some change that might come up in another 2 to 3 years? We did not expect something like this in March, but we all had to face it. We don't know what we will face in another 1 month's time. We don't know what we will face in another 1 year's time. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm being very practical. Because the 6 months has taught us that you expect, then you must also know how to not expect what has gone by. Okay? So, if we are expecting that schools will open in another 1 year's time, what if that does not happen? How are we going to keep up with our positivity towards the current education? Now, on that note, I'm going to close my session. I would like to thank all the viewers who were here today listening and, patiently waiting through the entire half an hour. I will go through some of the questions that have come up. I will scroll right from the top. In the meanwhile, anybody has anything, please write it down. Thank you, Seema. Thank you, Shilpa. We can learn from anywhere. That's true, Vaishali. And from anyone, absolutely. Influence of going to school is huge on kids, yes. Simple way of explaining socializing. Yes, thank you. Whether inside the classroom or on playground, yes. Homeschooling is best, but still schools play important role in socialization. Yes, they do. Like I said, schools are not the only form of socialization, but they are a good and important form of socialization. And I am saying this to you, being a homeschooler myself. Wow, in such a simple way, differentiating school and educating. Schooling and education has, for me, been two different things, because the thought with which people send children to school has to slowly start changing. We have to stop thinking that we are sending our children to school to study. Please, because study will just restrict you to a maths textbook or a history textbook. It's just going to restrict you to that much. But if you're going to educate, then you need to be up and about with current affairs. And I keep telling teachers of my school that current affairs and practical application of the learning has to always be taught to children. Yes, Seema Ambi, thank you so much. I still remember my first history class where you were there. Thank you. Pushkar Tony. Somebody's written nonsense. I don't know what was it in reference to. I don't know on what point it was written. If you're still around, do write to me mentioning why that was mentioned. Okay, hello, hi. Okay, all right. Misbah Mansoori says, teachers are getting upskilled. It's a boon. Absolutely. Teachers never knew उनके अंदर ये हुनर था. आज 2-3 महीना लगा and all of us are doing a wonderful job. It's so true that parents are more involved in the learning process. Yes, they have always been very much involved in the learning process, because I remember school से आते साथ ही quick question रहता है, स्कूल में क्या पढ़ा, बुक निकालो, चलो नोट्स लिखने को लगो. अभी practical application के हिसाब से they are more involved in the process. We can also get to see how teachers take efforts to teach the kids. Absolutely. Hats off to every single teacher who has, I would say that it's the teacher fraternity that quickly adapted to this change. I will not shy away from saying that. It's a teacher fraternity that quickly adapted to this change, not discrediting any other institution, but the enormous amount of change that teachers had to go through, keeping in mind too many things. And in those days, when we started our school, the lockdown was still on. So sourcing things from our home and, still doing a lot of things. Teacher fraternity simply jumped into it and they came out as phoenix. Absolutely. Teachers ke liye to hamesha hats off. Building structures truly do not define education system. Teachers are trying so much more to make children understand. So as you say, parents should be supportive. Yes. Hats off to kids in their patience. Absolutely. I had a live on my school's Facebook page around May, if I'm not wrong, about thank you kids. That 1 month, the first 1 month of tremendous uncertainty was crazy. It was killing everyone mentally. And kids face the most of it. I am seeing anger in my 9-year-old. Well, anger may not necessarily be because of not being able to step out and meeting friends, but it's a way of expression. Anger is a very good form of expression, and all of us should not shy away from expressing anger, especially in children. If children are angry, they must be allowed to bring out that anger, but we need to teach them how it can be beneficial to express it comfortably. गुस्सा करके बच्चे एंगर दिखाते हैं and then they slam things. It doesn't really help them. Instead, if as parents we can calm down and then tell them, how do you talk? I appreciate, I understand you're angry, but how can we talk it and figure it out? Because we have to come to a solution. Yes, frustration is getting in, children are getting restless, but that's what I said. What if this uncertainty situation is going to be there for the next 2-3 years? Don't we need to start working on that frustration and the restlessness? We have to find different ways to do it. Could that be answered by a community member? I'm seeing anger in my 9-year-old kid. I saw that you want me to delve on that topic. I will do that definitely. How do you suggest to teach children on current affairs? Oh, very simple. Just, typically children don't like to see the news channels. Okay, that's very normal. Typically children also don't like to read newspapers, no matter how much you harp it into their head. But when you read it to them, they want to know more. So spend like 15-20 minutes in a day talking about current affairs without giving your opinion about it. Remember, when you're teaching your child, you don't want to pass on your opinion. Your opinion is based on your experiences. Your child's opinion needs to be based on their experiences. Now you will see children don't have any experience in current affairs. Yes, they don't have. So they can just read the news and have that information. You can later on ask them to write their thought about what they heard from you. Like in our class last week, we, like I said, we did that topic on, oil spill. So the higher grades touched upon that topic in a very different manner. The lower grades touched upon the topic in a very different manner. So even the videos that we showed to the lower grades, the topic being the same, the kind of approach we had for different grades was very different. Because we also need to remember that the same topic might look abstract to a certain child as compared to another. So how it needs to be approached for each grade as per their age is very important. So I would say, if you want to discuss current affairs, pick current affairs that you think will add value to that particular age. Like saying that how would you like to have oil on your body? Not nice, no? So imagine the fish is always going to have oil on its body. So sad. Now there's an oil spill. What do you think we should do? How do you think we can look to control these things? Ask them thought-building questions. So you don't keep giving answers to it. आप ही question पूछो, आप ही answer दो, ऐसा नहीं. You ask them questions. Don't give your opinion about it. Hey, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है. You are giving a very funny answer. नहीं. We can't give our opinions. The child has his own thought process. Respect that thought process. And whatever he or she is saying it is from his little experience that he has, could you answer these two questions? How do you... Okay, I just answered that. And anger development... how to handle anger developmental kids at an early age? Okay, I would say how to take care of anger management in children. That would be the correct phrase. How to take care of anger management. The first thing that I have, I've done these sessions in the past as well on anger management, that think about it how you feel when you're angry. When I personally am angry, I prefer not to talk to anybody because I don't know how else to control my anger. But I know another person, person number 2 will flare up. I know a third person who will just start slamming things around and shut the door and walk off. I can also talk about a fourth person who will sit there and fight and fight and fight and fight and fight to prove their point. And there are many different ways of expressing anger. That's all I'm trying to tell you. But at that point of time when your child is angry, listen them out. Don't try to correct. Don't try to give opinions at that time. Don't try to say this, that, this, that. Listen them out. Let them cool down. Keep the communication channel open. That I know you're angry. When you feel comfortable, I am sitting right here. I want to hear you. But I don't want to tell you anything. I'm just angry because you just did not listen to what I wanted. Okay, fine. I respect your anger. Okay. But still I want to tell you that when you think we can talk, I'm sitting right here on the couch, or I may be in my room, or I may be watching TV. Come to talk to me. But please remember, when your child is angry and walking away in anger, you always have your eyes on the child. Because that's the worst time when children cause destruction, either to themselves or in the house. They throw things around, they scribble on the wall, or they injure themselves. Many things children do. Just keep an eye on them, just to know that they are safe. Definitely avoid letting them get into a room and lock the room from inside. Do not let them get into a washroom and lock the washroom from inside. Of course, if you have a teenager, they're going to go into the washroom and lock it from inside. Just be around there. 5 minutes later, just ask, एक काम करो ना, वो bucket में पानी भरो, मेरे को नहाने जाना है या मुझे अपना कपड़ा धोना है. Just fill up water. There will be a response. Wait for a response. So these are very important things that before you work on the person who's got angry, you need to work upon yourself to know how to handle that anger. So that's a very long topic. You have my Facebook page. You can write to me on Messenger. We can definitely discuss over there, because if it's specific to a child, I cannot give generic answers. I'll need to deal with it as per that child. Shweta, I hope that is okay. Adaptability is a great soft skill, and it should be in all of us. If we want to do something different in our life and love learning, so it's time to learn more things digitally. Absolutely. Best way, innovation shuttle making a video on current affairs. Kids will watch news channels automatically. Yes, Seema. Okay. All right. I think I have answered most of the things that were there. And if anybody else has anything to ask, you can definitely write to me on my Facebook page. I may not immediately respond, but I will definitely respond. Shweta, if that is okay, would you be all right if I close the session, or are there any more questions coming in? Okay, I think there are no more questions coming in. So on that note, I will close the channel now. I would just have one very important thing to say, that change, like I said, is going to be constant. The rate at which change will happen, none of us can guarantee that, and none of us are going to be aware of that until that change has happened. So let's make the most of it. We can all crib and get away with it, but if that change is going to stay, we have to adapt. So it's always good to adapt earlier than waiting for it for too long. Okay, so other important thing is, please respect that children have taken a lot in the last 6 months. They have been the ones who have faced the major change, although we feel that we have faced the major change. They have given up on their time of being out, and this time is not going to come back. So let's respect their emotions, let's respect their feelings, try and be safe if they are stepping out. Teach them the right mannerisms around it, trying to carry a sanitizer or keeping distance and things like that. So on that note, all of us, Take care. Be safe. Keep drinking a lot of water. I keep saying that in all my sessions because if you're not stepping out too much, you don't tend to drink too much water. Keep yourself hydrated. Take care. See you soon. Thank you once again, Shweta. Really honored that you got me on this channel. Thank you so much.